Hi, Coach Vic here to talk to you about the Metabolic Typing Questionnaire. So, if you have received my free guide and you're getting this in an email, this is the brief explanation that will get you at least through the nutrition part of the 6 Ways to Wellness. Also, you could be viewing this if you're in my group program or doing an individual program. I've sent it to you so that you will have kind of a little precursor to our conversation about it, because that's super beneficial to kind of have an idea. So by now you would have received and filled out, hopefully, the Metabolic Typing Questionnaire. You would have gotten it in a PDF. Okay. On page 3, after you tally everything up, you'll either total more A's or more B's, or maybe close to equal on both. So here's what all that means. Macronutrients, or our macronutrients, are our proteins, fats, and carbs, which are the primary source of our nutrition. When you hear micronutrients, we're talking about all of the individual components within those macronutrients. That's your calcium, your vitamin A, B vitamins, that kind of stuff, which you should receive if you eat a healthy diet, a good balanced diet. And because we're all biochemically individual, metabolic typing is a way to eat that takes you out of that arena of dieting, which tends to be on again, off again, on again, off again for people. And instead, and as part of my program, I teach this because it becomes your forever nutrition plan. It also is like step 1. Well, actually, your hydration in the 6 Ways to Wellness might be step 1 of learning your body's signals when you don't get it right. And that's the head start to any, just not feeling well, to it progressing into something major like a disorder where you're looking to medicate it and things like that. So when we talk about this nutrition, we're talking about putting on your plate the best quality food you can afford. That's if in terms of the meats, it's grass-fed, pastured, that kind of stuff, and organically grown vegetables. So if you answered more A questions than B questions, that makes you a protein type. This is what your plate would look like if you were a protein type. It means you're about 65 to 90% protein and about 10 to 35% carbohydrate. Now, I will preface that if you are a vegetarian or a vegan, please don't be insulted by the meat on the plate. This would be a separate conversation, how we would make this work for you. Just understand that in the explanation of proteins in this discussion, it is anything with eyes or a product of something with eyes. And if it's a carbohydrate, it's a no eyes food, which means it's a plant. It came from a plant. So this is what your plate would look like. Protein types are fast oxidizers. What that means is you burn through your food faster. Proteins are typically higher in fat. They take longer to digest than a carbohydrate, and that is why biochemically, for someone who answers the questions to be more of a protein type, you would eat this way. It makes it so that you don't blow through your food fast. It doesn't mess with your blood sugar, etc., etc. This person, ancestrally speaking, would be kind of the Alaskan person, basically. So, protein type. If you answered more B questions than A questions, you are a carb type, and your plate would be portioned out like this. This is 40% protein or eyes food to 60% no eyes food or carbs. And this type is called a slow oxidizer, which means metabolically speaking or chemically speaking, when you eat your food, you don't digest it as fast. That's why less protein, because it's harder to digest. And from an ancestral perspective, this would be like the Pacific Islander person. So you got that. Most Europeans, which is a greater makeup of most of us, would be eating like this. This is called a 50-50 or a mixed type, and it's exactly that, 50% eyes to 50% no eyes. Now, what I haven't discussed here is where does the fats work into this? Anything protein-wise carries a lot of fat. Now, there are some meats, for example, that have less fat than others. You would learn how to adjust that. In addition, if it's a protein, like say this was, a white fish, low-fat white fish, or a white chicken breast, you would either drizzle some olive oil on that chicken breast, add some oil to your vegetable in order to get more fat into your meal for that particular meal. So, and this is an excellent place to start if you answered those questions or couldn't answer all the questions and kind of feel a little confused about what some of them meant. This is a great place to start, because as your body starts to signal you, I'll give you an example in a minute, that's going to be how you'll know, like 6 months of eating like this, you go back to that questionnaire and you go, oh, you'll know how to answer all of those questions. Right now it might be a little confusing. If it wasn't, great. You have a really clear picture. So what happens is, for me, as an example of when I don't get it right, is if I don't have enough protein, I might get a little bit of a headache. If you can adjust what you've eaten within an hour, chemically speaking, in your body, you have an opportunity to correct that. For me, my headache goes away just like that. It almost seems like a miracle, but a lot of people would just leave the table going, I don't know, that just didn't satisfy me. It doesn't feel too good. And then they go in the bathroom and pop a couple Advil, and yeah, their headache will go away, but they're not relating it back to the food they ate. 90% of the time, that's what it is. I mean, it could be that you're just not feeling well that day. There's other reasons why that can happen, but our nutrition is our fuel. And chemically speaking, we get lots of signals from when we don't get it right. So this is just the short, brief explanation for those of you who got the free guide. Best of luck to you. You can always message me if you're not clear. And if this is someone in a group program or my individual program, we're just beginning. We'll really get specific for you. So remember that. One other little tip and explanation of that is when you get this right, I have a visual of 3 funnels for each macronutrient: your proteins, your fats, your carbs. And that as you consume the right portion on your plate of that each of those funnels are filled up for the right portion for you. And when that happens, it's 100% used for energy. Very little for waste, really nothing left over to store as body fat. You have fueled the body, and then it's even better if you put the best quality food on your plate and get the right portions. So, best of luck. We'll be chatting soon, and thanks for watching.